So if you are thinking about moving to the North Dallas area in 2025, don't pack your bags yet, because we are going to be talking about the 10 things you need to know before moving to the North Dallas area here in 2025, from home prices to the heavy traffic and some unexpected things that might be surprising to you. So let's dive in.
Hey guys, this is Gus and Karla, and we are local realtors here in the area. We are homeschooling parents, love God, we love families, we love connecting, and we just really love helping families relocate to this area, finding new homes and helping them sell their homes so that they can move on with their next season in life. So that's what we do. We help tons of families just like yours relocate, move, buy and sell and invest. So the first thing you want to know is the cost of living. Is North Dallas affordable? So to answer that question, yes, for most people, North Dallas is very affordable, but you are definitely going to have different cities that come with different prices. You're going to have anything from Frisco, which is great if your budget allows. Prosper is another really great one. Now, these home prices average $600,000 to $800,000 depending on how big you want the home. Of course, we're talking Frisco, Prosper, and there are some really affordable other cities as well, like Little Elm and Aubrey and Princeton. So it really just depends on what you guys are looking for. And in those cities, you know, you can probably get a house between $400,000 to $500,000, a nice house with plenty of room. So it really just depends on what you're looking for and what your budget allows, but it's definitely affordable.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about property taxes. Now that's going to vary depending on the community. And if you are in a more developed city like Frisco or McKinney, for example, those might have less property taxes because there are more businesses around. But each community has different property taxes amounts. So there are things to consider like PID taxes, MUD taxes. Keep in mind there are no state income tax here in Texas. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some groceries. What is something to, since you do all the grocery shopping for the family?
So right now it's just, I believe groceries is expensive everywhere.
Right. Let's talk about eggs. It's like it's been on the news. Egg prices have been like ridiculously high recently.
Well, there's a shortage of eggs. There's a shortage of eggs. And then on top of that, you add just prices going up in general. So depending on what kind of eggs you buy, we eat a lot of eggs.
We do.
So we purchase, we try to get organic pasture raised. If we can't find organic pasture raised, and we offer just pasture raised. Comments, don't make fun of us for eating expensive eggs.
But how much do we pay per carton? For example, a dozen eggs. Or
a dozen eggs usually will run us about $11 to $12.
The $11, but I mean, if you're looking at maybe just regular eggs.
If you're looking at regular eggs, I imagine there would be like $4 to $5. So, but for the most part, it is very affordable to be in North Dallas, because not only are you getting grocery store prices, but you are closer to rural areas. So if that's something that you are looking for, like raw milk or, free range eggs from a local farm, that is something you're gonna be able to find in North Dallas. Cut out the middle person, that store, and you're able to find these things in our surrounding areas.
Okay, so the number 2 thing you need to know before moving to North Dallas here in 2025 are the different suburbs depending on the lifestyle that you're in right now. So if you are a growing family, for example, you might want to consider Prosper or Frisco or even McKinney, which have the best and top rated school districts here in the North Dallas area. Now, if you're like a young professional, maybe not married yet, you might even consider like Plano, Frisco even still, which has a lot of entertainment, more businesses close to you, job opportunities, even Allen. So a lot of things to do there. Now, if you are more in the looking into maybe retirement season, you might want to consider maybe Aubrey, Little Elm, Celina even, which are more of like relaxed communities, more relaxed suburbs area.
So number 3 is going to be the North Dallas housing market. Should you buy now? So in 2025, you are looking to relocate, you're possibly thinking about North Dallas, and you want to know if now is going to be a good time for you to purchase a home here in the area. Well, we've got some news for you, and you guys are welcome to follow us on social media platforms. We follow the real estate market very closely. But yes, now is a great time to buy because we have a surplus of inventory. Now, not all agents are going to tell you this, not all realtors, and this is also not true of all the areas here in North Dallas. There are some that don't have a surplus of inventory. So if you're looking at closer to Dallas, Highland Park is still very low. So prices are going to continue to be high there. They're going to continue to increase. However, other areas such as Little Elm, Aubrey, Celina, even areas in Prosper, prices are continuing to drop. You've got a lot of high inventory for pre-owned market. Then you've got a ton of builders coming in. Also, something to consider and think about is going to be interest rates. A lot of sellers are offering a 2-1 buy down, so don't let that scare you. They are in the mid 6s to high 6s. Even with new builds, they're able to lock you in at much lower rates. We've seen $299, which is unbelievable here in the area. So don't let that hold you off. It is a great time to buy. Another thing to consider is making sure that when you purchase a new home or a pre-owned home here in the area, you want to make sure to have somebody on your side that's advocating for you. So make sure that you are going to a local real estate expert, that you're speaking with somebody about your needs and your wants, and that they know the area really well, because you don't want to end up in a house that you hate and then you've already bought it and then you want to move out a year later. We've seen that.
That scenario. Don't want that.
So make sure that you are reaching out to a local professional that knows the area really well, that can help you decide.
Number 4 thing you need to know before moving here to the North Dallas area in 2025 is job market and the economy. Why are some companies moving here to Texas and here in the DFW area? Well, there are a lot of opportunities with, obviously we touched a little bit about property taxes. Big companies that have announced that are going to be moving here to the DFW area for their headquarters. For example, KFC will be here in 2025 in Plano, and some other great companies that are bringing a lot of jobs here to the DFW area, like Carrollton, Plano. So there is a lot of job opportunities here in the North Dallas area.
Also, if you're looking to start your own business, it's a great place to do that. There's also a lot of smaller local businesses, so it is a great area to start your business, whether you're looking into, I've seen everything from like car washing detail to lots of cleaning services out there, a lot of car washing services out there. But there's also some very unique ones. So if you're looking to start like a coffee shop or some kind of food.
Okay, number 5, let's talk about the traffic and the commute. So if you are here in the North Dallas area, now depending on exactly where you are and the freeway access that you have will depend on the commute time if you're working in like downtown Dallas, for example. So if you are closer to 380, which runs east and west, if you're anywhere north of 380, trying to get south, it's gonna be chaotic, to be honest, especially here in the Denton County area, which they are expanding right now to a 6-lane road with overpasses, but there is tons of construction going on. So that's something you're gonna have to consider if you're considering a move to, especially Aubrey, Little Elm, anywhere north of 380. It's gonna be chaotic, it's gonna be a headache for you. So a lot of people are actually that are being called up to office back again are struggling right now with the commute time. So that's something you're gonna have to consider. But if you're closer to McKinney or Plano, Frisco, there's gonna be better access for you for the North Dallas Tollway or the 121 or the 75. Traffic does get congested here depending on where you are in the North Dallas area. Now, there are some ways you could avoid or maybe just help maybe a little bit with the commute time, and that is going through some of the back roads that we have here in the area. 428 being one of them. For example, if you live in Aubrey, Little Elm area, going the 428 area towards Celina and Prosper might be a good way for you to get around. But just to consider, there are still a lot of constructions going on with road expansions happening, so you're still going to get maybe some traffic still going on.
Number 6 is going to be schools and education. Whether you're looking to move here from California or any other state and education is important to you as a family, you're definitely going to want to check out some of the cities with the higher rated schools. So Prosper being probably the top rated in our area, you are going to get higher home prices, of course, with that. Taxes are going to also be higher in Prosper, but it definitely makes up for it in high rating. So there's other high rated school areas such as McKinney and Allen and Frisco. So those are definitely going to be a little bit higher end homes, higher priced. You're also looking at taxes and whatnot. McKinney has special programs for kids with special needs. So that's definitely something you want to consider if your family has kids that need, some special programs, or they can benefit from other things, McKinney has a wide variety that you can check out. So definitely put that on one of the cities that you want to do a little bit more research on. For us, something that was important and is important is that the state of Texas is very relaxed when it comes to homeschooling. So we homeschool. There are so many co-ops. There are so many curriculums you can choose from out there. There's not like a one set thing. There are so many families out here that choose homeschooling over private or public schools that it's really easy to find community and find other kids that are also homeschooling that you can, connect with and get your kids involved with other activities.
Yeah, some of the concerns that some of the parents that we've heard is like, hey, how do they relate with other kids around their age? Well, there's a lot of programs out there, a lot of sport activities that you can put them in for homeschooling families, right? Our daughter does volleyball with the homeschooling league. Our son does soccer, but there are lots of options for you to put them in that will help them with the relational aspect. Number 7 is weather and what to expect. We're going to talk a little bit about the heat here in Texas, tornadoes, and a little bit more. And for this topic, I have my expert here, my lovely wife, who loves to talk about the weather here in Texas. Is that right?
I don't love to talk about it.
You do, but you do it all the time.
I don't love to talk about it. It happens.
It happens.
It just happens. So
what to expect if our viewers have no idea?
If you guys are coming from the east, it's probably, or somewhere in the south, it's probably not going to be very different. But if you're coming from the west coast, I think you're in for a shocker.
Really?
Yes. The heat here is not horrible. I mean, we do definitely get they say like Texas has like 8 seasons. When it's hot, it is really hot, and it's hot and dry, right?
I think it's humid.
But not as humid as like Houston.
Houston is very humid. Here, DFW area, it's not as humid as Houston, but if you do get some humidity as far as when it's like in the summertime. Okay?
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
It does
like
get hot.
Really hot. Okay, we're from California in the Inland Empire, and like I know that area gets hot. I mean, we would hit like 105 and whatnot. It gets hot here, and it's a totally different kind of hot. So it's like you can't breathe hot. You're fine because everywhere here has a pool.
Tornadoes? Did we mention that? Wow.
Tornadoes are a real thing. And coming from the West Coast where we don't have tornadoes, it's a scary thing. So I have literally like 5 weather apps on my phone. So because I need to stay ahead of the storm.
And that's probably the problem right there, guys. I don't see it as a problem. I don't think we haven't personally since 2018, since we moved out here.
Come across a tornado?
We haven't come across a tornado, but we do have a tornado shelter in a garage. It's above ground, so you can call us to get more information on that.
Sure, and we do take shelter. We do take shelter every spring because there is always that.
So here's you're gonna get 2 different perspectives when it comes to severe weather here in Texas. I love thunderstorms and I love just seeing, severe weather, I guess, outside. And I can sleep through a thunderstorm. It could be hailing. I'm gonna sleep good, y'all. Now, my lovely wife here, she is completely different when it comes to that. Hey, but I respect that. So when she says, let's take shelter.
We take shelter. We all take shelter.
We all take shelter.
We grab our little dog and our 2 kids and we all take shelter.
Now, it's a pretty spacious shelter that we have. I just roll with it because I do love my wife.
Yes, and there are no basements here in North Dallas. So that's something else to consider. If you're coming from like Illinois, and I know some of those states have basements.
Yeah.
We don't have basements.
Yeah. I mean, the worst experience that we've had, I guess, with the tornado was last year.
Yeah.
I think it went through Celina and some of the parts in Celina. We have tons of friends there in Celina.
Now,
they didn't really care too much about it, but it did pass through. I mean,
I will say there was some damage done. We usually, if anything does touch down near here, they're usually not super, like there's no F4, F5. They're usually, very minor tornadoes, but still, you just never know.
Yeah.
So
something else to consider as well is our allergies.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So if you haven't experienced like seasonal allergies, we were new to this when we moved out in 2018. We started getting them maybe 2019 or so, when like grasses, trees, pollen here in this area, it's gonna get pretty bad in certain seasons.
Number 8 is gonna be things to do. So that's gonna be one thing to consider when you're moving out here, is gonna be, does it align with what you like to do and things like that. We're gonna talk about shopping.
Love shopping.
I do love shopping.
Are there places here to shop?
There's plenty of places to shop. There's local spots. Like, I love going to the little downtowns and finding stuff you can't find anywhere else. But I will say, I am a big Amazon girl. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want everything delivered to my doorstep.
Instacart, Amazon,
yes, anything that can be delivered to my doorstep. And I am loving Amazon, by the way, because recently I've been ordering stuff and it gets here the same day. So shopping is definitely something though. But if you are an out and about gal or guy and you enjoy going to the malls and the outlets, and Frisco is just filled with it. Dallas is also filled with it. So there's definitely tons of places that you can go shopping and get, really high-end merchandise. Or you can just go local and go to like the little downtowns that we have nearby in the areas and just support local businesses. Yeah,
outdoor activities too, tons to do, as far as like if you like fishing, lakes, trails, as far as, if you want to go ride bikes, walking trails, there's a lot of outdoor activities to do. So it's sports activities as well, as far as like, if you want to go enjoy sports events. FC Dallas, if you enjoy soccer, it's in Frisco. Quick drive from us where we are. Also, if you are wanting to enjoy a football game, you could go to a Dallas game. The Cowboys, hockey, Texas Rangers with the baseball. So we have everything here. Anything sports, basketball with the Mavericks. Now those are going to be more in the downtown Dallas area.
But it's still a quick drive.
Yeah. Now also something to consider are restaurants. There are tons of restaurants that you can enjoy, especially in Frisco, especially in Plano. A lot of options for you if you enjoy dining. All right, number 9, is North Dallas still growing? And what are some of the new developments that are happening here in the North Dallas area? Where, yes, to answer the question, 100% North Dallas is still growing, with lots of businesses coming up here and new developments happening right now. So one of the biggest ones that we can mention, Universal Theme Park in Frisco. That's good. That's a big deal. Bringing in, it's going to bring in a lot of businesses, and that broke ground. Sorry. And you can see it right off the North Dallas Tollway. If you're driving up, you can see the development right there. Fields is being developed right now with tons of houses, tons of different opportunities there as far as businesses, because they are opening up a Fields West. If you're not familiar with Legacy West in Plano, it's going to be an upgraded, bigger version of that in Frisco, which is a huge thing for job opportunities, entertainment, restaurants. So if you are thinking about opening up maybe your own restaurant or opening up a business, Fields West is going to be a great opportunity for you. Also, something to consider, World Cup in 2026 that's going to be coming here to the US. Several games are going to be hosted there in the Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. So that's a big deal. PGA Masters, if you're a golfer, 2027 is going to be a big deal because they're coming here for the tournament. So there are a lot of infrastructures going up, hotels, stuff that are getting ready for those big events here in the North Dallas area.
Number 10 is why working with a local real estate expert is key. You guys, I cannot tell you or stress how many times we have been called by people that have purchased the house and they absolutely don't like the area, or there's something about the house that they weren't told beforehand. Plenty of times we've been called, actually here in Sandbrook, that they're like, our realtor didn't tell us that we could not rent out the house. And now here we are having a weird conversation because they gotta sell it. It's just so incredibly important to find a local expert in your area. Whether you're looking at maybe buying some land and you want to have horses, like you want to make sure that whoever you're working with knows what animals are allowed, how much acreage you need to have, what your plans are in the future. If you're, planning on renting out the home in 2-3 years, you want to make sure that there are no bylaws, HOA factors that go into play that prevent you from doing what it is that you want to do in the future. So it is just so incredibly important. And if you don't have a realtor in the area, by all means, please call us. We offer additional incentives to all of our clients who call us. Like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, we help buy, sell, invest, and we know North Dallas really, really well.
Yeah, we mentioned several of the cities here that we serve in this video. So if you are looking to relocate to this area, we would love to help you answer any questions. Our information is going to be up here, guys. You can call us, text us. We would love to hear from you. We love serving families. So if you also go into the description of this video, you can book an appointment with us. We can talk about your needs and your wants and see what areas best fit your family. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and that notification bell. It really does help us. Leave a comment as well. It really does help our algorithms here with YouTube. There you have it, 10 things you need to know before moving to here in the North Dallas area in 2025. Hope this will be helpful. Looking forward to hear from you guys soon, and we'll see you next time.